Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Alex, and today I thought I would make a video with the newbie booktuber tag, just like I've seen everybody else doing, and a lot of you I'm sure are going to be new here, so I'd like you to learn about me. And I would like to learn about you too, so put it in the comments. Cheers. Alright, the first question, why did you start this channel? That is a good question, and there are many answers. First of all, I kind of want something that's just for myself. So I am a stay-at-home mom. I was a bilingual teacher before this for elementary age students in Español. Si puedes hablar en español, dímelo. When my second child was born, I decided I wanted to stay home with him. I wanted to homeschool both my kids. That decision kind of came later, but that's part of the decision too. So I really don't have a lot of time to myself. I don't really have many hobbies. I don't really have time for those. At night, I'm just so drained and so tired that I just want to go to sleep. So when my niece was here visiting this summer, she was really into books, and her and I would go book shopping and we would grab Starbucks, and it was just the most fun ever. And I kind of got back into reading through her. That's my cat. It's a sunny day today, which is rare. So my cat is like playing with the light. Anyway, so I remembered through my niece being here and us having so much fun enjoying books together that I, really enjoy reading. I have all of my life, but when you have kids, it just sometimes you don't have the time or the bandwidth to do those types of things. So this summer, I got back into reading through starting Fourth Wing. That was really good. I loved it. I've also been on social media doing content creation since my son was born. So probably, he's 2, so 2 years. A lot of that content was like mom content, baby and baby sleep content, because that's what I was in at that time, obviously. And now I'm kind of just not finding myself interested in making content about that anymore. Not the time of life I'm in. I find myself also using social media as like a coping mechanism to deal with my overwhelm. But really that's just like overwhelming me even more if you take a step back and look at it, or if I do. So, and that's on TikTok. Plus go follow me there if you want. I'm going to add some book stuff there, but just the constant scrolling and constant information is too much. So I kind of got on Booktube and was like, wow, this is really relaxing. I'm really loving watching these people. It's way more chill. There's no need to like grab your attention immediately and then just keep scrolling. Like I feel like people on Booktube and YouTube are more invested in the people's lives that create content on here, because you are spending more time and you can connect more with people when you have more time, not just 15 seconds or whatever. That's one reason I started my channel, was to kind of have something of my own, and I'm really enjoying this hobby. Actually, I'm learning how to use Premiere Pro, and I'm really liking it. So, and I really like reading, and I really like talking about reading. And that leads me to my second reason why I started this channel, is to build a community of people who like the same books I like and want to talk about them, or like different books that I like that I can get recommendations from, to really chat about it. And I would like to have people on here that subscribe to my channel that like other similar things that I do, into herbal remedies for stuff. I'm not really that much of an aesthetic person. Like, my home is not really that aesthetically pleasing. We really love it. We're blessed to be here. Some of the paint choices and like window shade choices, not what I like. They're very wild patterns and things like that. So we just don't, we haven't had the money or wanted to save the money to invest in that, or the time. You are non-aesthetic like me and you like herbal stuff, or you like books, obviously, I'd love to be a part of the same community with you. And that leads me to the third reason why I started this channel, is money. Now, I know everybody feels a little weird talking about that, and that's not my first most important thing. But as a stay-at-home mom, my husband working or on one income, I would absolutely love to be able to contribute money to our family. And I wish that hard work and time spent on something equated to money, because the amount of hard work and time that I spend raising my kids, I should be a freaking millionaire right now, as should all of us who are doing the same thing, right? But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. So I would love to get up to 500 subscribers. That's my goal, and start making some money if I can. All right, next question. What is unique about my channel? As I saw some other people making this newbie tag type video, like that's a little bit of an odd question, and I'm not about to say I'm better than other people, but I feel that everyone is truly unique. Every single person has a purpose on this planet. We all have our own path to walk, and by sharing the insights we've gleaned through doing that, we connect and we learn from one another, and that's a huge part of being alive, is connecting with other people and sharing your unique perspective, your unique lessons that you've learned. So I feel I have a lot of unique lessons to share. I am a very deep feeler. Some people call it empathic. Always just been a very, very sensitive person. And I've been through a lot of shit, a lot of bullshit in my life, especially these past 15 years. I don't know. I don't follow astrology very closely. And I forget the whole thing. I don't know. Something just happened, and it was a 15-year cycle. And Capricorn was one of the signs greatly affected. Now, I'm not a Capricorn rising or whatever. My main sign isn't Capricorn, it's Aquarius, but I have a ton of Capricorn placements. So apparently, according to this placement, over the past 15 years, if you had Capricorn in your chart, you went through a lot of bullshit. And I'll tell you, I did a lot. I won't get into it a ton right now. I've learned a lot of lessons, but I've been through a lot of darkness in the past 15 years, like a lot. And I've spent a lot of time healing over these past 5 years, I'd say, and I don't think that journey's ever done. I think it's a lifelong thing. And what's helped me do that is by listening to other people on the internet, even if that sounds silly. The thing that has helped me most is listening to other people tell their stories of their healing. They're becoming more self-aware and things like that. So I hope to share some of that through this channel as well and weave it into the books I'm reading, because those things are deeply woven into the books we read, because it is the human experience. And in fact, humans are the people who write books, except if you read a book written by AI, which is now apparently becoming a thing, but I'm not going to be doing that. Next question is, why do you love reading? And that's a great question. I have kind of 3 different answers to that. First reason I love reading is because it is kind of an escape. It's always been a safe space for me ever since childhood. It's a place where you can just immerse yourself in some place other than where you are. And that's always been a really nice escape for me. As I said, I was always a very sensitive child. Still, I'm a very sensitive person. And to be able to go in my room, shut the door, turn out all the noise, turn out all the craziness, like my cat's being crazy right now, and just read a good book has always been so soothing to me. Part of that escaping, the converse side, is also immersing yourself in an experience. And I feel like I said before, humans are the ones writing the books, so it relays a lot of the human experience. And I feel that that's so, like, authors have such a great way of using writing to immerse you in that experience. And it's a way for you to feel connected to other people, because authors are able to articulate these deep feelings that they're having through these experiences they're going through, and you're like, hey, okay, I'm not alone. I've had this experience and felt this. An example of that, of a book that I've read recently, is the last book in the ACOTAR series, which I can't think of, Court of Silver Flames. One thing you learn is I'm not great at remembering titles. So Nesta, in that book, this isn't really a spoiler, it's just a bit of a synopsis. She's kind of, and you've probably heard some people saying she's a little bit insufferable, which I agreed with. And it's kind of her hero's journey of healing and coming back into herself and coming back into self-love. And I found myself really annoyed with her. But then through reading that book, sentiments that she was expressing of like lack of self-love and self-sabotage and not feeling that you're worthy of love or good enough, it's like, wow, I've felt a lot of that shit too, and I'm really working on a lot of that. And it was so nice to see that written on the page, that you're not alone in feeling that. And she heals through the story, and it was really nice to watch. Another example is in Harry Potter. Those are my absolute favorite books still. I still have my copies of them from childhood, which I think is pretty awesome. I always had and have still this deep feeling that good will always win out over evil, that love is like the highest vibration, or like the best human emotion that you can feel. and that there's always things in the world that can be righted by love. That's what those books are about. And I sometimes struggle to feel like I see that in the outside world. When you look, take a quick glance around, like sometimes it doesn't feel that way. Those books are always there to remind you that indeed it is true. The second reason that I really love reading, I kind of touched on this, but that comfort of reading has always been there for me through every stage of my life. In childhood, going through college, going through an adulthood, going through divorce, my sister dying, not unexpectedly, but nonetheless, rediscovering myself after having children. Really just, I find that you can always find comfort in books no matter the stage of life or what you're going through. So for me, that's been really important. And the last reason I really love reading is, and I kind of talked about this too, but just because it connects so many people, it brings to light the human experience that we probably all are having, but maybe haven't voiced ourselves or thought that we were alone in it. And you find it there in a book and you don't feel so alone. The next question is, what are some of your favorite books? So I'll go through and talk about the stages of my life and what my favorite books were then. I can't really remember when I first started reading. I think it was probably around like 6th grade, and a teacher gave me the book Holes, and I absolutely loved it. And I wish I remembered what teacher that was. I don't, but actually, now that I say that, I think I do remember. And she was kind of crabby, but she was nice too, actually. She was undercover nice. And I just loved that book. I just loved it so much, and I still love it, and the movie actually to this day. And I got into Harry Potter as a kid. I loved those. As I got older, Hunger Games and Twilight. And actually, Harry Potter came out, over a long span of years. And I remember going back to books connecting people. My best friend in high school and I both got the last Harry Potter book when it premiered, and we sat in her bed for like hours, didn't talk to one another, just like sat beside one another and read. It was such a sweet memory. Then in earlier adulthood, I really loved The Nightingale, so I am into some historical fiction, and I don't really want to read about the Holocaust anymore. Sorry. I have my phone on in case my friend, who has my daughter right now, is going to call me. They're having a little play date. But yeah, I'm not really into reading about the Holocaust anymore, and that book, The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, I believe it is about that, but it's just so good. I loved it. Another book in early adulthood that I loved was A Man Called Ove. I still haven't seen the movie, but I would like to. And now just recently, I'm 35 now. I just turned 35, but I don't care. It's just weird to hear. I'm happy with where I am in my life, so I don't care about age. But anyway, it's just weird to say. Now that I am in this stage in adulthood, sorry, my phone, I'm waiting for a call. I have loved ACOTAR. People talking about that all over the internet, and I loved those books. That's more of a romantasy, whereas Throne of Glass series is more of a fantasy romance. It's more based on the fantasy. And I don't know, I might love that series even more. I haven't read the last book. I still need to read it. I'm taking a little break just because those are so intricate. I needed like a little palate cleanser for a while. I'm loving those. And Fourth Wing, I did love Fourth Wing. That is the book, as I said, that got me back into reading. Iron Flame? Oh. All right, next question. What are some challenges you think you'll have to face in working on creating this channel? I'm very bad at being consistent with things. I don't know if that's because I have ADHD, but like once I do all the planning and lay out, okay, like here's my schedule, I'm going to do this, and this Monday, blah, 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 whatever. Like as soon as I do all the work to set out the schedule, then I just don't want to follow it. Anything that I like have to do, I really hate, and I just don't do it. So I don't want to turn this into something like that. And another challenge I foresee is that I don't really have a ton of time to myself or a ton of quiet time in my house. So my husband works from home. I have 2 kids. Right now is a very unheard of time. My son is napping, my husband's upstairs working, and my daughter is at a play date. So usually I don't have this time. So that's going to be another challenge. Balance. I need to work on balance. I mean, I guess who doesn't? But balance. The next question is, where do you read? In the house, physically, I read mostly in my bed. I just rearrange my room and put a chair in there. I read there. And I read when I go on my walking pad. I have the whole gooseneck and page turner set up, which is worth it. And I read there. And in terms of like what kind of books, I am a Kindle girl. I want to read on my Kindle. I do not want to read physical books. I love still going to bookstores and seeing all the beautiful covers, touching the books, smelling them. Like that will never go away. But for me, it's just so uncomfortable to hold a book for so long, and it's just much faster to read on a Kindle. So, and also I don't have space to put physical books, and I've moved so many times from like my young adult life till now that I've seen like the less stuff I have, the easier. And we do want to eventually move. Like we don't want to stay in this house forever. So I don't know. I just don't want to buy a bunch of shit, you know? All right, next question is, when did you start reading? Here, I have to show you guys my cat. She is a sphinx because my husband is allergic. Oh, but he doesn't get allergic to her. And she's kind of a pain in the ass. I'd say probably like 6th grade with the whole Holes book, and then Harry Potter, of course. Those were like, I'm still a diehard Harry Potter fan, and I'm going to be making a video of all the Harry Potter stuff I have. I'm excited to show that. Favorite genres. So I am coming to learn there's like much more genres than I even knew about, so I kind of need to study up on that a little bit. Actually, come to speak of that, another thing I need to study up on is Notion. I bought a template for like a book tracker, but I cannot figure it out for the life of me. So some of my favorite genres are dystopian. I still love those. I know those are a lot of YA. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say I still love those. I used to love those, and I haven't read a new one of those in a while, so maybe I'll have to dive in and see if I'm still loving it. Fantasy, for sure. Like, I feel like that will be my forever favorite genre. And romantasy. I don't know. I think I like fantasy more, and even if there's no romance, that's okay with me. But I do like the romantasies if I feel like the fantasy is still like good enough. I do like historical fiction. Like I said, I read quite a bit of that in the past. I haven't recently read much of that, but I would like to get back into it. And there are some nonfiction books I like that I'll probably be talking about. Not exactly like self-help books, but like self-healing, also parenting books, stuff like that. The last thing is to show your book collection. So I will. We are like redoing this area. So I had all my books in my husband's office, and I'm actually going to unhaul a bunch of them. I think I'll make a video for that. Some of them are like probably 15, 20 years old, and I just don't need or want them anymore. And we're going to get rid of the giant bookshelf, and I don't have a ton of room, so I just have my books nicely displayed atop my dresser. I think I might even get a small bookshelf and just put it horizontal and put them on there. But here, let me show you. You guys, here is my room and me in the golden hour sun, which means you can also probably see the dust on my black dresser. Please don't judge. So all of these books are, mostly all of these books are from my childhood, and they're books that I've kept since then. So, you know, I've got my Allegiant, what the heck's the first one called? Divergent, and I think it has mold on it, the first one, so I'm going to have to probably get rid of it. Twilight, Hunger Games. These are nonfiction books that are relatively newer. These are the new Harry Potter illustrated books, and I haven't even opened them yet. Got them for my daughter, but I'm going to wait till she wants to use them because she's not into it yet. My Harry Potters from childhood, Fourth Wing, Akatar, my crystals and shit. And this is a painting a friend made for me when my sister died. It's really cute. This is a quote. I wrote something into my sister. It's cutesies. So, again, I'm not the most aesthetic person, but I don't know. It's my space. And this is the chair I sit in. Don't mind the clothes strewn about. My little squishmallow Harry Potter. And my bed is not made. But look at this guy. We have all of them. Oh, I should probably show you the other ones. Just a sneak preview, okay? Because I'm going to make a full video about Harry Potter. And this is my daughter's. It's Ravenclaw. This one is so cute. I tried to do a take backsies because I wanted it and I loved it. And my daughter said no. And these are both ones that I gave to my husband, Gryffindor and Hufflepuff. So cute. He's the only one in the house that actually like lays on the pillow, so they're deformed. But I suppose that's what they're for, right? Thank you for sticking around. Please subscribe and like. On cue, I hear my son on the monitor. He's awake. We did it. We got through a whole video. Let me know in the comments if you're like a non-aesthetic type girly like me, and if you like herbal stuff or any of the books I talked about. See you next time.